everyone, it's Tanny Games here. Welcome back to the channel. I have a very short speed build for you all, and it's for this Wilted flower house that we got in the premium shop. I absolutely love this house. It is so cute. So I decided to do a bit of a fall inspired build with it in the sunlit plateau. Now I do think this build could easily be replicated elsewhere, like in the forest, the glade, probably even do something with it in the Forgotten Lands, but I'm running out of space in my valley, so I did it here in the sunlit plateau. I think I might set it up here permanently, but I am going to tear down my movie theatre build that I did, my sort of drive-in theatre, so I'll probably move its position in when I do that, but I'll probably keep the build very similar to what it is now. Because the house is obviously it's this wilted flower kind of fairy court inspired house, I wanted to keep the build very nature inspired, so I don't actually use a lot of decor as such. Most of the pieces I use are foliage, and I stuck with this kind of orange kind of palette through it. I just thought it was in keeping with the colour of the house. I do hope that at some point we get the trees that you can get in the frozen biome. I did put that in one of my previous videos where I talked about stuff from realms that I would like to see added to the game. And then also I did tweet at Gameloft when they did one of their posts, and they did reply to my post. So I mean, I know the replies on social media is something that they do for like everyone kind of thing, you know, it doesn't guarantee anything's gonna happen, but I'm hoping that they have taken note and like maybe they saw my video. I mean, very doubtful, but maybe they did, and maybe they're like, oh, this girl has good ideas, let's add those orange trees. Well, one can hope at least anyway. I would absolutely love if we got them, just so that we could really elevate our full builds and just sort of add a bit more colour into the valley. I do find that obviously most of the foliage pieces we have are sort of very green, which is good in a way, you know, it helps us build these luscious spring and summer builds, but I don't think it really helps us for the other seasons like winter and fall, where we don't really have as much foliage pieces to kind of fit in with those seasons. So I would like to see that as a change, and who knows, maybe if we're lucky we will get that. Now, as I said, I wanted to keep this build quite natural kind of thing, so I did put in a lot of like bushes. I put in some different types of grass for texture. I did try to make the pathway feel a bit more natural, so you'll probably have seen that I took out a few squares of pathway because I didn't want it to be so straight on, but obviously with the way I've set up this build, the cottage is directly in front of the bridge basically, so I was kind of like limited in how I could kind of curve and stuff like that to lead up to the house. I did put in the picnic blanket, one of the frozen ones, it's the fall themed one. Again, I thought the colours worked really nice, and I just had it in my head that that would be a nice spot to like have a picnic, to chill and relax at. I do also do kind of like not a camping setup as such, but I do a little seating area with the rustic kind of wooden chairs that you could get with the camping house. I did add those in, but obviously you could use any kind of wooden chair or rustic looking chair if you wanted to replicate this build. And then I used the campfire as well that we got with the sort of like the camping marshmallow event. Again, I just thought it added a bit of extra lighting into the area, and sort of created this area where people might hang out and just sort of enjoy nature and their surroundings kind of thing. I do also use the sort of the lamps, the lights that you get from, I think it's Timon's Friendship Quest, but it could be Pumbaa's. And I use them because they're like my favourite light in game, just this like wooden tree branch with these like firefly lanterns hanging off of them. I just think it's so cute and so aesthetic, and I love it, so I had to make sure that I use them. I wouldn't be surprised if going forward they get introduced to almost all of my builds. It's definitely one of my favorite lighting items in game for sure. I also added in the pumpkins, again, just to kind of add in those colours, a bit of texture, and sort of increase the kind of different types of foliage and stuff like that. I do think this build turned out pretty good. I'm pretty proud of it. I do really like it. It's a nice compact build, but I do feel it feels quite dense and luscious with all the foliage pieces that I have used. You'll have to let me know in the comments down below, is this a house skin that you picked up? If so, how are you planning to decorate with it? Where will you be placing this in your valley? I'd love to hear what ideas and plans you have for this house if you did pick it up. I think there's a lot of different ways you could kind of like customize this house. You could certainly lean into the more nature inspired build. You could go very witch core with it. I am hoping that we get more kind of like mushroom based items perhaps in the next DLC, maybe, if we're lucky, if my predictions are correct, which they might not be. And I'd love to see sort of different ways you could use this build. I definitely think there's a lot of different styles you can go with. Like, I think there's a few houses in game that are kind of interchangeable. The fairy bloss house, this house, the mushroom cottage. I feel like they all could work in very similar situations and stuff like that. So you could sort of switch them up, but they would all feel very in keeping in terms of style and aesthetics. So I do love that. I like a house build that's quite versatile in terms of how you could like set it up, but sort of works with almost everything kind of thing, or with multiple different styles, because I just feel like if you've got more ways to use an item, it just sort of becomes a more staple piece. But anyway, I will leave you with the rest of this this speed build. There's not much of it left, and I do a walkthrough at the end in day and night, so feel free to stick around to check that out. Let me know what you think of this build in the comments down below. I do hope it inspires you and helps you get your creative ideas flowing and stuff like that. But anyway, have a wonderful day. Thank you to anyone who likes and comments on the video, and to all my subscribers and channel members. You are all amazing and awesome, and I appreciate you so much. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it here. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys!